Kate with Heart and Gardening, and it's been a quick minute since I have done a video. I kind of have lost my creative mojo in this whole coronavirus blah 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 stage of life, but I'm hoping to get back into that and out of the creative funk I've been in. So I'm coming to you today with a tomato seedling update. If you have watched any of my previous videos, I did one where I talked all about the tomato seeds I would be planting this year. And I just thought we would go over what did get planted, what I've had success with so far, and a couple others that I ended up planting that weren't in that original tomato seed video. So let's get into it today. First off, this is just one tray of my tomatoes. I thought I'd bring them in one at a time. We'll see if we go through both the trays. I actually have three trays. I have at least 30 tomato plants, I would say. They stink. This was a bad idea because I had gave them some fish emulsion yesterday and they stink so bad like fish. That's why Timmy was smelling them in the beginning of this video. Ugh, yuck. Okay, let's first start with the failures that I've had with seed starting tomatoes this year. It is a lot harder than people realize, especially when I live in zone 7A, so our temperatures are up and down constantly, especially in the spring. Yesterday was our last frost date. And we did have a freeze last night, and we've had a couple other ones this week. Storms, I've had trouble with storms in the greenhouse. It's just been insane. I've lost plants. I haven't really lost that many tomatoes because I've been babying them so much because I really want a good harvest and good variety of tomatoes this year. So I've been babying them very well. Out of all the seeds I did get and try to germinate, the Tigerella was the only one. I used a whole pack of seeds, which there was probably 20 in there, I guess. Maybe not quite 20 because that feels excessive that I couldn't get one to germinate. But I had such a hard time with Tigerella, I could not get any of them to germinate. So I'm really sad about that because it's a really pretty tomato. If you haven't seen it, you can look it up on YouTube and you would see how pretty of a tomato it is. So I guess I kind of have to give up on that one, and maybe next year I'll just have better luck. So I didn't get to grow the Tigerella. I'm also having a lot of trouble with Bonnie Best, which is super surprising because that tomato is such a well-known tomato and it's a major one for canning. So my goal this year was to learn how to can, and now I ain't got no Bonnies. Bonnie Best, Bonnie fails. I don't know. Really, I don't think I have a single Bonnie Best plant. I do have more seeds, so I am trying to get some started a little later in the game. But as far as that, these seriously smell so bad. Okay, so this is one of the blueberries that I did get to germinate. Blueberry cherry tomato. They're beautiful. I consider that one of the top tomatoes that I'm most excited about growing is the blueberry cherry. We have another one right here. So there's two blueberry cherry tomatoes. I have a bunch of porters that are started and doing good. Porters seem to germinate very quickly, I have seen with the tomatoes. So that was interesting. Let's see, this is another porter. So I actually like to tally these all up at the end. So I might keep them separated. And then at the end, I can see how many I have of each, which would be nice. Okay, so then I have a Roma. I have a couple Romas, but I had left some of them in the greenhouse on these last few frost nights, and even though they were in the greenhouse and didn't get a direct frost, it still destroyed a few Romas. I know I have a few more than this. But they're good for canning and stuff too. So I guess I need to start some more of those. Yeah. These two babes were the only Abe Lincoln tomatoes I could get to germinate. Gosh, it smells like fish in here. They're doing pretty well. They tend to get a little floppy. I feel like they're kind of dramatic. Their leaves start wilting pretty easy and pretty quick. We'll see how these do in the garden. I'm curious just because they took off as some of the best, but they are just little like fragile flowers, I feel like. They are dramatic and just will wilt at the first sign of anything. So here's one that I'm super excited about, and I think the leaves on this is so unique. This is the Trip L crop. So when people say it fast, it's like triple L crop, almost. Triple L crop. Trip L crop. Trip L crop. It's all separated. Trip L crop. Triple crop. I don't know. Trip L crop. Okay, so here are the leaves on this one, and I just think it's so interesting because these first two, which are, no, they're not their true leaves. I took the true leaves off of this one. So I'm sorry. These are their first true leaves. I took off the baby ones when it started getting bigger. So their true leaves start off almost not looking like a tomato at all, which I just find is so interesting. I mean, you look at this one compared to like the Abe, and they are just like this. If you didn't know much about tomatoes, you probably wouldn't think that this is a tomato plant like right off the bat. Their leaves are just shaped different, and so I'm super excited about this one. These produce pretty big, hardy tomatoes. And once I got them going, like my first round, they didn't germinate for some reason. But once I put in a couple more seeds and some different soil, they took off really well. So we've got quite a few of those in here. Let's see what else we got right here. This is another Roma, so that's good. There's another Roma. Okay. Then we have Aunt Ruby's German Green. So we have a few of those, and I actually planted one out in the garden just for fun, and I've been covering it every night. It's kind of, I feel like it's stunted its growth. It was more of an experiment, but we'll see what happens with the one that's already out there. I'm debating on when to actually set these out because I've looked at the 10-day forecast, and I don't feel like it is going to freeze again. So I'm really tempted to go ahead and stick some of these out, but then scared at the same time. This is a puny beefsteak. I have some bigger beefsteaks out, but that one's pretty puny. And then these three are all Tiny Tims, and Tiny Tims are a determinate tomato. That means that they only grow to a certain size and then they stop. And these are really great for containers. If you don't have the garden room and you want to still get some little cherry tomatoes, Tiny Tim, you can put them in a container somewhere and they will do just fine. So just because you might be in an apartment or somewhere, doesn't mean that you can't find some varieties that will work for where you are. Tray 2. Okay, so we have, actually there's some peppers on this tray that got mixed in. I need to go put them with the peppers. Another triple L crop, so we'll just put that right there. Okay, Cherokee Purple is another variety I'm growing. I have a few of these going good. Oh my gosh, it stinks like fish in here so bad. So I have a few Cherokee Purples. Let's see, there's another Cherokee Purple. And another Cherokee Purple. So there's about 3 Cherokee Purples. This is a pepper plant. Here's another blueberry cherry. So I actually did get 3 whole blueberry cherries out of the seeds I got, and I don't think I have any more. I think they sent me like 8 seeds. I think those were the only 3 that germinated. Okay. Then we have like Bonnie. That ain't doing nothing. Bonnie Bess ain't doing nothing. There's a beefsteak. That's not really doing anything. That's a pepper. Okay. All right. Here are my prides and joys. The red centiflora. This red centiflora is doing a little bit better than this one. Might need to pot it up a little bit. But these are, they almost look different too in color, so I don't know about that. I can't get any more of these to germinate. The pack of seeds that came with from M.I. Gardner only had 10 seeds because they're pretty rare. I got 2 plants germinated and going good, so I will baby these. I will probably not put these out early because I just don't want to risk it. Like, I will probably wait until May to put these out for sure. The red centiflora. If you've seen any of my videos, if you watch me on Instagram, you know that this is like my baby right here. These are what I'm most excited about tomato-wise this year, and I will do whatever it takes to keep them safe. So I have 2 red centifloras. Let's see. These are all yellow pears, I believe. I forgot to name them, but they were with this one that was named. So I have a yellow pear tomato, which are just a form of little like Tommy toes, but they're yellow tomatoes. And then this is another puny beefsteak. I have some really puny beefsteaks going on, so hopefully they can catch on up. The last tray that I have, this is actually pepper. Oh, that needs potted up badly. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, so I have a Molly ground cherry in here, which isn't a tomato. I feel like sometimes it gets categorized in the tomatoes, but it's not technically a tomato. Okay. So I have another porter. We're going to count all these at the end too for show. Another Aunt Ruby German green. Where did I put those? Another yellow pear. Another tiny Tim. We'll just go through these quickly. Cherokee purple. And then, whoa, no. Some puny beefsteaks. So there's some puny beefsteaks that are just like coming up. And then this one, I believe, is, yes. So this is one of my good beefsteaks that is beautiful, and all those other ones just need to catch up. Beefsteak. Here's some more Romas, which is good. Oh, here is the one Brad's Atomic Grape that I was able to get from a viewer. I have one more seed, I think, on this, and so that makes me nervous. So I'm going to have to baby this plant big time. It's getting all its true leaves and all that stuff, so it seems to be doing good. It's just, it's gonna have to be babied for a while. Another Roma, which is good because a lot of them died. Then this is a yellow pear. What is that? A porter. And I just knocked one over. Oh my gosh. Another triple L crop. This big one right here is another beefsteak. And then, what's this one? Another Cherokee purple and another tiny Tim. So, I'm going to count all these and count the number of varieties I have and come back to you in 1 second. Tomato plants that I have started. The total was 47 plants. My intention is to plant them all if I can. And it came to 12 varieties. Red centiflora, Tiny Tim, Aunt Ruby's German Green, Brad's Atomic Grape, blueberry cherry tomatoes. We've got the Abe Lincoln, the beefsteak, the porter, Triple L crop, Romas, Cherokee purples, and the yellow pear. And I cannot honestly say that that will be all the varieties I plant because I might actually go to a nursery and pick up a few more. You never know with me. But these are all my tomato babies. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Let me know in the comments below if you are planting any of these varieties. I'm so excited to get these planted and get these going, and then being able to show you out in the garden when they develop into all their glory. It'll be so fun. So please make sure you're following me on Instagram. I'll put it right here. Subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks for joining me today.